A very important emotion that people struggle with is guilt. So, what is guilt, and how can one become free of that guilt? There, people who I have clients who have whose partners or whose loved ones have passed away, and when they passed away, they live in guilt for so long. There is one client who is unable to shake it off. She's struggling with that whole guilt, whether she's at work, whether she's at home, whether she's with people or in whatever way. This guilt is something that really grips her all day, and she's unable to sleep also with that guilt. So how can one work on this guilt or be free of the guilt?
One has to, it's obvious that when something is knocking at our door, like guilt, and in guilt, there is obviously stock taking which you have done, and you come up with the discovery, that I didn't love my father-in-law enough. I'm a woman,
right,
and I had a father-in-law whom I had to take care of, and I didn't take care of him. I was very irritable about him, and I didn't love him, and I must have caused him enormous pain, because a daughter-in-law has to be as good as a daughter.
Yes.
And daughters are very loving, and so that love didn't beam out from me to my elderly father-in-law, and so taking stock of the whole thing, now I find that I'm ridden with guilt, and I want to find out how am I to so the first blunder I make, how to get rid of it. That's the first blunder, and the blunder is coming into my very language in which I showcase my problem, how to be rid of it. Now somebody has to tell me that that should not be my attitude. My attitude should be to pay attention to that guilt, and to listen to that song of guilt, that very remorseful song, regretful song of repentance of that guilt, like a father confessor in a church listens to a so-called sinner. A so-called sinner, which is the sinner is a very ugly word, that's besides the point, but he has come to share his grief with the father confessor. So the father is listening to him, and he starts the narration. And if he's a very good counselor, the father, he goes on listening to him, gives him space, right, so that the person opens up and the person shares fully. Now, similarly, we have to open up to ourselves, and this can be done only in an intensive or in a retreat, a spiritual retreat, where you have only one moral obligation. The moral obligation is to listen to that very tragic and very sad song of guilt which is beating in your chest. It's going on and on and on. And now as you pay attention to it, now you're definitely paid flickering attention to it, fleeting attention to it. That's not enough.
Yes, because people say that I am in guilt. You are asking me to look into the guilt, but I am already looking into it. I'm already feeling that emotion of guilt.
No.
So
they're just scratching the surface.
Scratching the surface. So they need
they have to. If they listen fully, what will actually happen is that guilt is very much like a postman who's coming to your home and he's knocking on the door.
Yes.
Now he's come to deliver a certain mail to you, a very important mail. It can be from the government, it can be somebody important, and unless and until you open the door and receive the mail and sign there that I received the mail, the postman will keep returning till you receive the mail and you sign saying I've received the mail.
Right.
So the postman will keep on coming like that. That guilt will keep on nagging you. It'll never leave you until and unless you start paying attention and you start becoming intimate with that guilt and listen completely to the unfolding of that story.
And sometimes when they're feeling guilty, it's not about the other person, it's about them.
Absolutely.
It's about them. They're saying, what about me? Why did this person leave me, or why did this person do this to me? So it is also about them feeling bad about themselves.
Absolutely.
So that is also...
So that is, you see, in... now we have entered into modern times where we are talking too much about progress, technological progress and comforts and luxuries and all of that. But if you go back 2 centuries, 3 centuries, when man was more innocent and when religions had a more important say in his life, and he was innocent enough in order to either read the sacred books or listen to the priests, the gurus, the church fathers, then he will take it in. And so once you discover that, then you've got to go through a process of purgation of guilt. That's a very deep thing. Yeah, very deep thing it is.
So one has to go deep into it. Thank you.